crafters, welcome to the corner of my dungeon. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a good place to record, and I know everybody has these super epic awesome backdrops. Probably won't get that from me, at least not anytime soon. But anyway, I want to show you guys how I made Angelica Pickles. And also this guy, Reptar. I don't really have much to say before the video, so let's just get to it. Alright, so I'm gonna start with showing you guys the drawing. I don't know, this clip, even though it is sped up a lot, was about 6 minutes long, and that's like 6 minutes too long, especially when the shrink plastic stuff is just about the same length, if not longer, and I didn't want this to be like a 15-minute video because all my other videos are already like 10 and 11 minutes, and I feel like that's pretty long. But yeah, I like to talk in detail about these things sometimes. But anyway, just a little bit about the drawing. Yeah, Angelica was pretty simple to draw. I will say what I do regret about this keychain is the pose. So I'm gonna throw up the pose on the screen, and you guys will see that she's sitting down at what I'm guessing is her mom's vanity. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen this episode in years and years and years, so I don't really remember it. I was looking up the Rugrats on Pinterest, just like some pictures, and I saw this one and I thought it was funny, so like, oh, I want to turn that into a keychain. And yeah, so I don't know the story very well. I did try to look for it like on YouTube, but I couldn't find it. And I don't know, I think that the Rugrats streams to Hulu, but I'm not too sure, but I don't have Hulu, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, so the pose, back to the pose. She's sitting down, and I feel like that, you know, her sitting down looks pretty well, but it didn't look that well in the keychain. Like the keychain itself just looked kind of awkward in the end, because you just kind of see her feet sticking out of under her skirt, and then you see her hand up in the air when it was really sitting, resting on like her mom's vanity or wherever she was sitting. And yeah, I feel like that didn't look too well. I did find another reference, which I'll throw up here. I keep saying throw up. I keep like I'm gonna throw, like I'm gonna puke, but no. I did find another reference of her with the same makeup on that I think looked pretty funny, but I didn't see it until after I made the keychain, of course. And I think had I seen that, I might have gone with that one instead. But hey, I might turn her into a pin, but if I do, you won't see that in a video just because it's so close and so similar to this keychain. Okay, so now I remember what I did kind of struggle with this little sketch. First of all, I threw the reference up a little while ago, which you just saw, and I feel like my drawing came out a little bit more stiff than the actual reference, so I didn't like that very much. I struggled a lot with the lips for some reason. Like, they were just looking really weird to me, but yeah, I just worked at it anyway, just to get them to look as well as possible. I'm happy with the end result. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about the sketch, so I'm just gonna crop this down so you can just see the finished Angelica. Wow. Alright, moving on. So now I have started coloring, and you guys might notice, if you haven't noticed already, or if this is just your first time watching one of my videos, I tend to use a darker shade of color for outlines instead of using black to outline. I just haven't even tried doing like a character with a black outline. I don't think I've tried that ever, except for the Yoshi pin that I made in the Yoshi video. But yeah, as you'll see, the bow is purple, so I used a light purple to color it in, and then I found a darker shade of purple for the outline. The hair is yellow, so I found a tan to do the outline, and basically, yeah, that's what I do. I did end up messing up on her face though. I'll show you the little clip here in a little bit, but I forgot that her face had the blue makeup on it because I wasn't looking at the reference. I just started coloring in. And yeah, so I just started putting peach all over her face. I did try to save it by just going over it with blue anyway, just to see what it looked like, but there was a huge difference. Where the blue was over the peach, it looked much lighter than where the blue was just put directly onto the shrink plastic. And yeah, I ended up just having to start over. So now I have just a random Angelica head with nothing but eyes and some blue on her face sitting in my drawer. So that's awesome. Alright, so anyway, I fixed my mistake as you can see here, and then I just started getting some more colors to do the rest of her body. I don't know that she is my favorite out of the batch of keychains that I made along with her. I keep referencing Yoshi and Belle and stuff like that because whenever I make keychains, I make at least 5 at a time. 4 if I'm being lazy. The more the better though. And the reason being is because whenever I make my resin to coat them, I don't like to have any resin left over because it's just such a huge waste. So I would rather have more pieces than I actually needed to resin as opposed to having a lot of resin and only like 2 little pieces, and then all that resin just kind of hardens over time, and you know. So if you work with resin, then I think you understand what I'm saying. And if you haven't worked with resin, yeah, it hardens over time. So you basically only have about 20 minutes to actually work with it. After about 20 minutes, sometimes sooner, depending on the temperature and stuff like that, it starts to get really sticky, almost like when you're pouring syrup. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the word is. And when it's freshly mixed, it's more easy to work with. It spreads a lot easier. And yeah, I'm gonna post a actual video where I talk about using ice resin. So I'll talk more in detail about that later. But yeah, so I made Angelica, Belle, Yoshi, Reptar, and oh yeah, I also made a couple of bracelets that I'm going to making a video on, that I'm going to be making or actually finishing the videos on soon. I have those like also works in progress right now. They also just need voiceovers, the little intro bits, and then to just be edited, and then I'll post those. But Michael's had some shrink plastic pieces that were already made. They basically just had to be colored in, and so I bought 2 sets of those and I colored them 2 different ways just to show you guys the difference between those, but that'll be in a future video. But basically I had all of these pieces together and I had just enough resin to cover all of those pieces, which is awesome. That's usually how I like for it to happen. I want to have just enough resin. If not, then oh well, the pieces can get resin in the next batch of keychains or pieces that I make. Yeah, I'll talk more about that in my resin video, hopefully, if I don't forget. Alright, and as with all my pieces, I finish with adding glitter and resin, and yep, that fell. I added purple and green, and like a couple of specks of green glitter to her. I don't even know if you can call it glitter, it's like such a big piece of plastic, but I guess. Anyway, some glitter, and then I mixed in some fine glitter with the resin, so she's got more sparkles on her. And then on Reptar, I did the same. Oh, I also added that purple key ring to Angelica just to match her outfit. But Reptar, as you can see, has got some splotches on his left side, and that is because I poured too much resin on him. It went underneath the piece and it ended up leaving those stains, but I wasn't too concerned about it because I was already deciding on painting him anyway, since I was going to add a pin to his back. And I was like, oh, you know, I didn't want the pin to show through the piece because he's see-through, but the paint ended up working out very well. I just did 2 coats of that and he turned out pretty well. So if he was going to be a keychain and I was going to leave him like a pastel piece, then that would have sucked, but oh well. Luckily, it worked out pretty well. Some of the other keychains also had resin on the back, but because they were colored pencil, you couldn't see through it, so it was no biggie. Alright you guys, thank you so much again for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing more videos like this. At this point, by the time I'm making this video, I don't know if I would have already published my first, if I would have posted my first Create This Book entry, or my first Create This Book video. I am going to be working on that book and recording and posting. So yeah, if you guys haven't heard of it, be sure to check out the link in the description. So if you are tired of watching shrink plastic pieces, go ahead and check that out. But if you are not tired of checking out shrink plastic pieces, check out the rest of my videos. So thank you guys again for watching. I will see y'all next time.